Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and I built something a little bit different this time. XP Loot Farm. I mean, that's got to be visually appealing, right? And it is a brutal map, though, so maybe that takes away from it. Now, I did something odd, alright? My goal was not to kill people unless it was of their own free will. So, we get into this. First stop, we got a tomb. I mean, completely safe. You can get in here, get your tomb, go about your business. But it's the next room. This is where the magic happens. First thing they see, big kill on the wall. And then we've got 2 death pits. 20 warmongers. I think, it's also 20 spike traps, a bunch of bolt shots, and a couple of the hooks. Now, the hooks were only there because, budget-wise, that's what I could afford to put in there to maximize the amount of stuff they could destroy. I also tried to make sure that the hooks were facing a direction that shouldn't grab them. That's why they're on a corner piece, kind of facing back into corners. So, you get done murdering stuff in there, collecting all the loot. You work your way back here to another tomb. And then, no one really uses it, but you can kind of sneak out this hollow cube when you're done. But let's work our way up. And up here, this is where things get interesting. You got the heart and an arrow. So, I'm going off of a bit of an honor system that if you like the map, please donate a death. And as you can see, we do have donations in the bin, which is pretty freaking cool. And I'm actually going to show you some clips of people running through here a little bit later. But first, let's get through the build. Down here, another tomb. Again, completely safe. Yeah, but what about the gym mat room? And we go over here. Painted all the walls completely safe. And as you can see, as we've went through here, there's no traps outside of the death pits. This is it. Well, I mean, I guess you got the corrosive cubes, but that doesn't really count in this instance. But let's see what happens when people run the map. The first guy comes in here. Seems a little hesitant. Like, oh, kill. Then he warms up real quick. I mean, it just looks so cool watching all of them, start to aggro. He slowly picks them off. Now, I know I'm not showing you his bar, but he does have grenades. And while watching this, I'm like, why haven't you thrown a grenade? Oh, and then the other army activates, and we get some little lag crap in the replay, but whatever. This next part, though, is what confuses me slightly. You can clearly see there are a ton of traps in here. Just an absurd amount, bunch of enemies. He still technically has ammo. Not much, but he's got it. He goes into the death pit anyways. And, yeah, that is not a place you want to be. Not unless you're properly equipped. Now, my favorite thing, replay-wise, that I've got to see is a co-op team that ran through here. And again, I'm sorry, guys, that I can't hide your names, which is weird because I can hide everything else on the screen, but it won't turn off your names. But just know, you were my favorites out of everybody that ran in here. Because they looked and seen and, yeah, I'll donate a death. So he dies. This guy dies. And gets revived. And they end up donating, I think it was 4 deaths. Because one of them actually died in a death pit. So that's just like a priceless little moment right there. Really cool. And just to show you, no trickery. He runs down here, grabs the gen mat. Seems maybe slightly hesitant about it, but he gets it and then starts to head out. But what's really cool is we'll skip ahead to when they're leaving, because that was a really neat moment. So you see they're heading out. He kind of stops, give me a yes, and then comes back, and I'm pretty sure he just gave me an A. I didn't even know I was being graded. I got an A, guys. How awesome is that? That is just completely priceless. Now, I know you want to see someone else hop in the death pit, so that lets you know right there how useful a shield can be. I haven't really messed with him yet, but he totally jumped in the death pit and lived to tell the tale. So that was cool. But can he do it again? He looks like he's waiting. And yeah, I'm not 100% certain, but I think the hook grabbed him just enough that he couldn't shield. So there you have it. You can build a base where all you do is try to kill them with kindness. It's a crazy thing, and I just had to share it with you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.